experience with the job? What was your first job? Coach Remy, what was your first job when you arrived in Europe? Did you become direct supervisor of the company, manager? What was your first job?
Okay, good one. Actually, when when I arrived here, I was around 15 years old.
Yeah.
So I was still in high school.
Yeah.
So in the summer vacation, I went to work in a factory, like where the conveyor belt is running. I think everybody who has lived in Europe maybe has experienced it, or in America, where you have to run behind the machine.
Yeah.
So sometimes grown-ups could come and they could just run away after one day, say, "This is not human. I can't compete with the machine."
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a factory that opens those cases for fruits. So someone has to be on the conveyor belt, opening them very fast.
Yeah.
And people could just run away.
Brenda, what was your first job experience? Supervisor?
I don't know. Everybody's frozen, I think.
Even me too, or no?
Yeah, you were frozen, now you're fine.
Oh. What is your first job experience?
Me? Okay. So when I first got here, that was in 2007. My first job was to do, well, first of all, I looked for a while, for I think 2 months, but I didn't know even what I was looking for because my experience there was not going to help me here. But I just kept looking online on Indeed.com, on Monster.com, so all those little websites. So, and then I landed on one that said they needed a part-time person to work as an administrator in an interfaith group organization. Yeah. So I think they liked me because, one, I was from Africa, and because I put that on my cover letter that I had just moved, and they were pretty much, the organization was working with people who different religions, trying to unite the Muslims, the Catholics, so doing community work to unite the people. So I did that, but that was easy. But what I would say my real first job experience was, so that was a temporary one. After 6 months it was done. I applied and one of these sales jobs showed up. I was okay, sales, fine. So I went, did my interview, everything looked good. They told me I was hired, I was very friendly, so I would do this. I was what? This is awesome. And they told me I'll be making around 100,000, plus bonuses or with bonuses, maybe that's what it was. I was wow. So I went back home, told my husband, he's that does not sound real. Yeah. I was well, it's not you going to do the job. I am going to do the job. So I didn't want him to bring me down because I'm doing it. I can't just give up before I do it. So, because I don't usually just give up on anything. So I went anyways. They called me again the next day. We went to the office, so dressed up in a nice suit. So, and they're okay, we're going to the field. I was field?
Yeah, to talk to people.
What are we supposed to be doing in the field? So we walked out, and before I know it, they gave me a T-shirt to wear, so that this time I didn't have to go out in my suit. Yeah. They're we're going to be walking for a while. I was oh my gosh, what do you mean? Walking for a while? Yeah. So we had to go door to door, ringing people's doorbells and trying to sell them stuff. Sell them Verizon, so Verizon services, so that's Comcast or I don't know, I don't know what I could relate it to for people back home, but cable company. Yeah, the cable, the MTN, Safaricom, Vodacom, network, Orange, whatever those, Yeah, so we had to go ringing doorbells for people, and people were what do you want at my door? I was ooh, okay. I I come back from this? So the girl who was leading me, helping me to train me, so that was supposed to be my first day of training. She got like really hard nose. People are like, you guys don't give up. Stop stepping on my doors. Don't step on my Lord. And I was like, this is not a friendly job, you know. So she's like, no, the people who are just mean sometimes. And so I wanted to prove my husband wrong, that this was not a good job. So I kept doing it. I couldn't quit. So then I became good. I figured out, I have to first sell myself before they buy my stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like, I tried to be friendly with these guys, phone like icebreakers, like, hey, by the way, just my accent, I'm from Africa, so I'm just here doing this. Phone like ways, to first sell myself. And it started working out well until one day I knocked at this person's door, and it was like, I think the house was a drag crack house. Yes, so 5 guys came to the door. It was like at 1 p.m. These guys showed up with like no shirts on, came to the door. You could tell they were high. I was like, oh my gosh, and it was just me in the neighborhood. So it was like downtown, like Philadelphia.
Yeah.
So they're like, yo, what's up? What's up? What's up? These black guys, like, what do you want? What do you want, babe? What do you want? So they started like doing the sexual, like slangs on me, and I was like, okay, this is not good. I'm so sorry, you guys. I gotta go, but I was just checking up on your services. And then the guys followed me. So they came out, and I had to call the police. Because I was like scared. So, and then, like in such neighborhoods, there's always like cops nearby.
Yeah.
So because they know there's always chaos in some neighborhoods. So I called the police. It's like, I don't feel safe and I'm not driving. I used the bus to get here. So I didn't know how to drive that time. I didn't have a car. So they
police
like,
gave you the
we'll
drive.
take you back to your office. Yeah. So, and yeah, that was the end of that one.
Crazy experience.
Yeah, so for me, obviously, I mean, that will be my first job, but I don't consider it my real first job because that was a scholarship to come to teach Swahili and African culture at the university. So that was already there. The funny part about that, prospectus is written Professor Ernest Makulilo. So in US, they call me professor. So up to now, my resume, it has a former professor. So I use everywhere, but apart from that, I did like how many gigs I did from there. So I was teaching like 2 days in a week, like 4 hours, and then you have the office hours as a professor. But I say the students write me email if you want to meet me. So usually I don't go to the office. They don't care. So, and because they allow you to learn more about American culture at the university, so I went to work at Pizza Hut in the cafeteria. So I don't eat pizza, but I was making pizza.
You were making the pizza?
Yeah, and I don't eat them. Yeah. So I was doing that one, and at that time it was like $7 per hour or $6. I mean, it was $6.50 or $7, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like minimum wage. Yeah.
Yeah, and then on twice per week I go to donate plasma. So donation of the plasma. They take out the blood, and there is the machine. The machine is going to separate blood and the plasma, which are the nutrients which are within the blood, and they take blood back, and the plasma is going to be given just like for the kids who are born without plasma. That way, so they have to be going to be injected to people. Because there is no way you can create a pill for that, so they have to do that. So for them, because you are saving life, they give you $25 per donation. So for me, I go there, you watch a movie, they give you cookie, they give you juice, $25 for like 30 minutes, an hour, then I'm gone. So that was and then I did it. Yeah. Then I did the job of selling the knives, but that didn't go well. So that's why from that moment, any job they tell me will pay commission if you sell something, no. So I usually don't, because it didn't go well, but the advantage they gave me the first set of knives.
Yeah.
So like using them, but they are okay. But yeah, so this is how I started from. But even late down the road, I already finished my masters. You don't have good job sometimes because I finished 2009, 2010. I finished my masters. It was the peak of that financial crisis. You apply like $500 jobs per day. You don't get interview. You don't get whatever.
Yeah.
I did one time to go to work into one factory for plastics. 2 people in the entire factory. They are the only one who speak English. The rest they speak only Spanish because there are so many Mexicans in California. So in order for me to have to work, and obviously it's cleaning, taking out the thing from the plastic, whatever, you put the bottles, whatever. So they have to pair the jobs with that guy, or the supervisor has to show by action, then you have to do. Then another time I quit that one. I went to another factory. That was the clothing factory. That was like cleaning the entire factory, toilets, whatever. And the funny part, people do not know that this guy is educated. They think this is just a broke black guy is just chilling. So one day I was cleaning the office of the owner of the company. There are 3 people, 2 are brothers. So I saw the picture of Serengeti. So I saw the picture, so I was looking at it. So the guy was there, said, "Do you know that place?" I said, "Yeah, that is Serengeti, is in Tanzania." So how do you know that? I said, "I'm from Tanzania." So we just started, so during the lunchtime he came to sit with me. So we're just talking. So what are you doing? What is your plan? Whatever. So at that time I planned to do PhD. Then I quit, and then at that time I didn't get any job. So okay, I'm going for scholarship for PhD. So I got to go to South Dakota at that time. So I said I have scholarship to go to do my PhD. I said, "Do you want to tell me you have master's degree?" I said, "Yeah." So from that moment, the guy became so friendly even more because they said, "Oh man, so I didn't know even if you finish high school."
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So it's very interesting. So that's why I usually tell people, like, wherever you come here, as long as you do the legal job, but don't start showing off, or don't disrespect your supervisor, because they'll be the one down the road being used any question about your past in terms of your behavior, your professionalism, all those kind of things, regardless of the type of the job, whether it's $10 per hour, whether it's $20 per hour.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. They add up. Yeah.